Good evening and welcome to another edition. Good evening and welcome to another edition of Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. We appreciate you very much tuning in and being a part of this program. Had to make some adjustment just then, but we hope and pray that everything is okay now that you can hear me and we continue on doing what we do. Disregard that first part. Hey, I didn't turn my microphones on, and that's my fault. But hey, I appreciate you staying tuned and being a part of us. You know what we do here. We talk business, legal, social, whatever affects you in this community, we will deal with it. We got a lot to talk about, and I look forward to talking to you. By chance, if you would like to call in, I'll give the number out anyway. But if not, if you just enjoy listening, and many of you do by the thousand in the report that we get from Facebook every every month, and I thank you by the thousands of you worldwide that is listening to tell the truth and shame the devil. It is important that you listen and share with your friend these videos because it's a new day and a new time. Things are going to have to change how we do business in this city. Because if we don't, we are doomed to fail because of the poor leadership that we have in this city. It is obvious. We're going to talk some more about that and talk about some other things as well. We look forward to you sharing as well as subscribing. And we're going to ask you every day to subscribe because we have thousands of people out there that are listening. We ask that you, if you listen at any time, please subscribe. And you can go to our website at memphisrealtalk.com. Again, memphisrealtalk.com. Memphis Real Talk, that's one word, .com. And it'll take you straight to the website. You go around and look around and see what we're doing from news to reports. And we are going to update the software where we can do a lot more things that will be able to help you and assist you. We're going to talk to the politicians if they will come on. If not, then I say if they don't come on this show, to me, they are not worth considering. Because if you're not able and strong enough to come here and talk to us, then how can you work for the people or talk on behalf of the people? Because this is not an easy road that you choose if you want to run for office. And understand that from the beginning. You will be criticized in a lot of things that you say and do. But if you're not strong enough and you're not willing enough to stay the course, then you need to waste the people time because the people need strong individuals to represent them. And as I often say, look around in the community and you can tell whether you have a strong representative or whether you just have a representative. I threw something out that I want to jump off talking about and a little bit before I get into the real subject. If you went to my Facebook page and you watched and listened to a interview that was had by uh, Channel 5, WMC TV, Channel 5, with the newly appointed fire chief. And he said something that I put out there, and I put his quote pretty much on my Facebook page, and you can go and read it. And it began to make me think about some things, and it come to show. And I'll get to that point where when you have somebody that you appoint, they are not in control. They are individuals who've been appointed to do pretty much what the mayor wants him or her to do. And we're going to get back to that. But let me tell you something. Who I am, and most of you, y'all know who I am. I'm able to stand tall, stand firm, speak up, and stand up for whatever I believe in. If an individual came to me, I don't care what he does, but if he wants the truth to be told, if he wants the truth to be dealt with, then I'm his man or her man. But at the same time, if you come to me and say to me, Bernard, I want you to take this position, but I pretty much got to control what you say and how you run that position, then I would tell him or her, I'm not your man. Uh, if you put me over something, you should give me the power to speak firmly because I'm not going to speak out of context. I'm going to do in the best interest of what that position calls me to do. Uh, I'm going to get the job done. And I've been that type of person all of my life where if you put me over something, if you assign me to something, if you leave me alone, it comes out uh, like gold. And that's been my history for everything that I've ever been a part of, from law enforcement uh, to my own business. Uh, I have succeeded and exceeded expectations when I'm in charge of something. So if you point me and tell me, no, you got to check with me before you run the department that you put me over, I'm not your man. I'm not your boy, and never will be. Therefore, I found out something. Being in business, several businesses, that's where I should have always been. Because if I'm the leader, whether it's my church or whether it's my business, it's going to come out like gold because I'm the one that's responsible for what happens in that business, what happened in my church. The general church will look for me as the pastor to do what is necessary and report to the general church. I did that for over 32 years. For 28 years, I ran a private probation company and succeeded in that till I got to the point with other things that came up. I decided, hey, for 28 years, I've touched people's lives, and people turn around and still say to me when they see me on the street, I was one of your probation off, one of your probationers back in 1995. And we talked and they laughed and they said, because of what you did and the tough love you showed me while I was on probation, I'm doing all right now. So that goes to my success in whatever I'm in, whether it's in business, whether it's a pastor, as I said, and whatever I have done, I have exceeded expectations. So I can't take a position that you won't let me run the position. So I've always and should have always been, except the years that I gave to the sheriff's department. I used to see clowns walking around with eagles on their collars at the sheriff's department. Didn't really understand what that really means. You can call the eagle what you want to call it, chief inspector and all of that. But I came through a place called Paris Island from boot camp all the way through uh, my 6 year period as a Marine and a military police. And when I looked at the silver one bar, that means that you were a first lieutenant. Now the gold singer bar means that you was a second lieutenant. And from the silver bar, being a first lieutenant, you got the 2 bar gold, which meant you were the captain. And then from the captain, you went on to become the gold oak leaf, which was a major. And then from major, you went on to a silver oak leaf, which means that you was a lieutenant colonel. Now, when you got to the eagle that was on the collar of the officer, it said that you was a full bird, meaning that you was a full lieutenant colonel. And from that, you got the generals, 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, on up. That meant something. And I used to walk around, even to this day, looking at our sheriff and others who have the circle of stars on their collar and don't even have an idea what that represents. And I used to look at them and shake my head, and sometimes I would smile, and they would say, "What are you smiling at?" And I would roughly say, "You don't know what that means that you got on your collar. You don't know the awesome responsibility that men and women who wear those full eagles, the responsibilities that they have in the world in this United States that we call America. They are the ones that making sure that you are safe and secure as you sleep." But when I saw rank just passing and given to people that did not know what the little bird left on the limb to what to do but to go around and just do nothing but draw a picture. And it was insulting to me as a soldier to look at those ranks being pinned on individuals who never was a Boy Scout, never nor a Cub Scout, never knew what those rank meant. And I'm saying that to get into what I want to talk about. I said all of that because when you are a appointed individual and you got all the stars and you got all of the other rank on you, and you're in a position that you really can't do what needed to be done to show your true leadership because the politics are being played within this circle. Because of all of this rank and appointment that we have in this city, we are in trouble in this city. And for those who are in leadership and don't have anything but a word in front of their name, a city councilwoman, a councilman, or a county commission, or a mayor, or a county mayor, have never truly been in leadership and don't know what leadership is about because they got a degree hanging on the wall. They have gone to some prestigious college. You want to come back and say, hey, because he's an attorney, because he's just a good old boy, he can be put into leadership to lead. But if you don't know how to lead, then how can you be a leader? Have you ever been tried and tested by the fire? Meaning, have you been on the battlefield of life to understand what your responsibility will be in the position of leadership? Leadership is more than sitting in a chair in a council meeting or a county commission meeting or a House of Representatives or a House of Senate. It is an awesome responsibility that you are representing people and their life and livelihood. But you don't do that because you play politics and you really don't care one way or the other. You just want to be able to be called by the title you hold and not knowing anything about the leadership that you're supposed to render to the people that you represent. So that's why we end up in the position that we're in. We don't have anybody smart enough to know what a real budget is and how to budget. They spend when they supposed to look at things, but you just spend. And then when they can't pay the bill, they take from Peter to pay Paul to cover up their lack of knowledge in the position that they have. And that's all it is. It comes down to the lack of knowledge. Now, all I've said that, and now I want to get into something that I thought was a little peculiar. I was giving the chief of the fire department the benefit of the doubt. He's new, but he's been around ever since the 90s as it relates to the fire department as I was reading that. And then the news person that was interviewing him, and go to my page and you can see where I posted, and we'll talk some more about this. Maybe a part two of this because it was something that was really concerning me in regard to his leadership. And when I heard him say this, and I quote in his words, when it was asked of the new chief of police, do he think that his people, meaning the firemen, that he would be over, do you think that they're being underpaid? He basically said that I cannot speak to that. All I know is that the men and women of the fire department will be out in the street doing their job. We know that. Chief, we know that. But you dodged the bullet, Chief. As a chief, in my opinion, and I asked the question of the people that listen to me, should a chief have the back of the firemen that he represent? And when he dodged the bullet, to say that he cannot say whether or not they're being underpaid. That shocked me. I said, well, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. But here you are, the chief of the fire department, and you would make a statement like that because the people that you represent, the people that you are over, they have family, they have things that they need to take care of. And that's the reason, Chief, if you didn't know, that's the reason that your union president says that on average, they are losing, and listen to me, Chief, they are losing firemen to the tune of six, sometimes a week. They are going to other fire departments where they can make a decent living. Some are leaving, going across the bridge or down in Mississippi or going to Arkansas or going to other states because they can make a decent living. Now, if you were strong and one political chief and didn't get your job because of a political appointment, you could have been strong enough to say, by all means, yes, we are losing firemen every day because they're being underpaid. But you're a political chief and you can't do that. You was appointed by the board that's in the city hall right now. And I say that sincerely, the boy trying to do a man's job. He put you in there and you cannot speak to what is truth and what you know to be true because you came up through the ranks. You know that the firemen are being underpaid. Not only you, but the first responders who sit out here and protect and serve us, and they got to argue with you or argue with the budget or the city mayor about a promise that they made 5%. They got three, they want the other two because they need it. But yet, Chief, you would sit there and say you can't speak to that. And I know why you can't speak to it, Chief. You can't speak to it because you are appointed and you can't ruffle the feather of City Hall. And that's what I said to you in the beginning that I could not take on a job if I had to play politics while in the job to keep the job. If you appoint me to something and say, hey, Bernard, you are the director, you're over it, I'm looking to you to run this department. It will be ran. It will be ran successfully. But you could say to me, but if it's not ran, then you're going to have to answer to me. Then I understand that. But I guarantee you, if a department or church or anything else I've ever put forth, nobody had to come and say or question me as it relates to whether the job was being done. So I said all that, ladies and gentlemen. The chief knew it, that he can't speak truth to power because he upset the person that put him in office. If he really said, yes, they're being underpaid because we're losing people every day going to other places to get a better livelihood or have a better life. That's speaking truth to power, but you can't do it because you may upset the apple cart. So you're there, basically, and most appointees in this city are there for the paycheck and their livelihood, but they're not strong enough to be tall and stand tall for the people that they represent because they're afraid they lose their job. If you're afraid of losing your job because you're doing your job, it's to me is not a job worth having. Because if you're put there to represent the department and represent the people and do your job and you can't do it because of political reasons, to me, that's a job that I would never want. So I can boldly say to him, no, what power do I have as it relates to being the director or being the chief or the chief of police? What job do I have? Your job is to protect and serve the people. Your job is to do this, that, or the other. Your job is to make sure that your police officers are happy. Your job is to make sure that the firemen are happy. Whatever you are, or whatever position you have, you need to have that power, not someone looking over your shoulder and playing politics with you. And that's the reason we have what we have, because it's all about people that being appointed. It's about a paycheck. They don't want to ruffle the paycheck, but the people who are on the ground, the one who make them look good, but they can't stand up for them, those are the ones that are around here trying to get a decent wage because the leadership cannot stand up and be accountable and do the right thing on behalf of the people that he's supposed to be over or she's supposed to be over. Because politics, I'll say it again, is in the way. And until we change the direction of the politics, and we can do that in 26 and 28, we can change the way things doing. Here we are, the people that doing their job on the county commission who said that the election should be coincide with the county commission. You paid them to make those decisions. You said that you wanted that, and they stood up and they did it. But here you have the school board, who you elected, are now filing a lawsuit against you, the people who put them in office. They want to question the validity legally of what the county commissioner do. If they couldn't do it, they wouldn't have done it. But here you have these knuckleheads over there putting their name on a lawsuit against you. You put them in office. You can take them out of office because they went against what you wanted. And what you wanted was the school board and the county commission to be running at the same time. But these knuckleheads, they sued you. They sued you. Let me say that again. They sued you because they didn't want to be a part of what the county commissioner said. So they sued you to get the judge, the court, to try to overturn what the county commission done what you wanted to do. They sued you. They are suing you. So now what you supposed to do? To everybody on that school board who put their name, say on behalf of the school board, we are suing the county commissioner along with the people of Shelby County and the city of Memphis. We suing y'all. Y'all put us in office, but we don't care about y'all putting us in office. We don't care about what you all wanted. We gonna sue you. And they did it. And people stand up on television, radio, and talk about they are wrong. They can't sue us. The people can put you out of office. You are suing, when you're suing the people, you're suing and spending their tax dollars to have lawyers to go in and sue them. Because when you sue the county commissioner, you are suing the people. And I want you all to think about that. I seriously want you all to think about it. Because that seriousness is at hand right now. It's real seriousness as to whether we will end up continuing being a city. We're not a thriving city because the leadership don't know what to do or how to do it. They come in with no agenda, and their agenda is what the power that be that put money into their campaign tell them what their agendas are. And you see what it is. Raise your taxes when they came in, bought a hotel that you didn't know nothing about. Then after so many years, it's going to be given over to the Carlyle Group. Hmm? Chase, City Council, Chance, Carlyle Group. Now think for a minute. Do you think that Chase, the city councilman, will not have anything nor reap anything from Chance and the Carlyle Group? You got to be outside of your mind if you don't think that two brothers, one will benefit from one being on the council, even though he said he's going to recuse himself. That's a bunch of, you know what, don't mean nothing, but you're still a councilman. You still have the influence, whether you're in there on the vote or you're not, you still have the influence, Chase. And then Chance, you know he had the influence because you ended up making the big deal with big wheels while eating big meals, and the people are suffering from it. The people's money is being used to put you in the position to own up and own the Sheraton Hotel. Ladies and gentlemen, that's all I got to say about that. When will we wake up? I'm going to keep doing what I do. I may do it in 30 minutes, sometime I may do it in an hour. But when I think that I've said all I need to say, and I think that if you got a little common sense, you will understand what is going on in this city. And at some point, and I hope and pray that you will, in 26, understand that we need to change these guards that's supposed to be guarding our city. So many stupid things have happened. They sued the state of Tennessee for the protection that the governor and the mayor and the president decided to send here because Memphis was so out of control. And you got to understand it's out of control. It's so out of control when people come to your house and they know you are looking out and they put a gun up to your peephole and say, you better not come out while we stealing your car and you think we didn't need this National Guard here, we didn't need that. I applaud the government. I applaud the president. Yes, I said it. When it comes down to Memphis, Tennessee, I applaud it. Democrats may not agree with it, and I get less than what the Democrats think because the Democrats have shown me it's all about certain people within the Democratic Party. And if I say to any Democrats that are still Democrats, you've been hoodwinked, you're being bamboozled, you're being ran amok. Only in election time will you see the Democrats coming and want to hold town hall meeting. You boo boo the fool if you continue to follow that. I follow myself and the direction that God sends me in. My God. I don't follow a Democrat, I don't follow a Republican, I don't even follow an independent. What I do is follow the direction, whether he be Democrat or Republican or independent. If they're got, in my opinion, the answer or trying to be strong enough to represent the people, then they got my vote. Voting Democrat, Republican, or independent, or declaring one way or the other, those days are over with me. If you're running and I talk to you, I interview you, and I feel that you're strong enough to stand up, then you got my support. We got to change the way we do business, ladies and gentlemen, or we're going to continue to fail. I'm Jennings Bernard. You've been listening to Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. I want to take this opportunity to ask you all to pray for everybody that's sick and afflicted, that's in the hospital, that are recovering. I got a very dear friend. We grew up in Douglas, childhood friend. I got a message yesterday, and I went out to see her at St. Francis Hospital. Good dear friend. Many of you know her as Roma Richmond, where we went to school together. I knew her as a childhood friend. Knew her brother, uh, Larry Richmond, who passed away, Delano Richmond. We all grew up in Douglas together. Roma and I graduated together. We have always been friends. We talked off and on. But I got a call from another childhood friend, another classmate, Vivian Thompson, who told me that Roma wanted to talk to me and to see me. And I went out to the hospital today, and she was in physical therapy. I will be going back to see her. Didn't know that she was in the hospital that long. Talked to her husband, and I want you all to pray for her. That's what I'll do the same. And if you know somebody right now that is in the hospital, that on their sick bed of affliction, I want you to pray for them because they need your prayer. It could be me, it could be you, tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. We never know. We had parents, loved ones that was here with us, but no longer are they with us. But my grandmother used to say something all the time, and I used to hear. And I talked to her, and I said, "Big Mama, how you doing?" She said, "Well, I have good days and I have bad days." And she said something that's very profound. She said, "This whole life winding change is winding up." And I used to say, "Okay." And I listened to her, and we talked a little bit more. She said, "Life is short. You enjoy life while this change is out here. But sooner or later, it's going to wind up. And you may be on your sick bed of affliction. You may be dead and gone. But you better do what's right while you can, while you can. And all of that have locked into my head. And I've always wanted to be right, to do right, to stand tall, to represent, and be who God, I feel, along with him and my grandmother and my mother and father, the guidance that they gave me and the direction. That's who I am. That's why I can stand strong. That's why I can talk like I do. Because one thing about life, you understand this if you don't. One day it'll be all over for you, for me. And the only thing matter is what you did while you was here. And I ask you again to pray for her as I pray for Roma, whose maiden name is Richardson, but now she married her last name Robertson. And I want you to pray for her, and I'll pray for you and keep us in mind. And guess it, we can disagree with me all day long, doesn't matter, because we can disagree without being disagreeable. But what you will find when you're dealing with me, if you go off the road and make it personal, I can and I will get personal with you. But long as we stay in the middle of the road, respect each other, whether you agree with me or you don't, respect me and I'm going to respect you. But when you go to calling names and trying to persecute, then it's a whole different ball game. I haven't gotten to that place where you slap me on one cheek, I turn the other. You slap me, I'm gonna knock the hell out you. That's who I am. I haven't gotten to that cheek turning yet. I thrive to get there. Sometimes I will, not physically, but verbally, and sometimes I'll take that slap on the cheek because words cannot hurt you if you're strong enough and you understand. I'm saying to you, and you got this last time and this last chance to change the direction that the city of Memphis is going because we finna fall into the ditch. What does scripture say? The blind leading the blind, they both fall into the ditch. We don't need to fall into the ditch. We don't need to be bankrupted. We take it from Peter to pay Paul. We got to straighten this up before it is too late. And when it comes to too late, you think your taxes are going up now? When they get in that hole and they got to start over, or this city may have to do a chapter of bankruptcy to get back on its feet. Or it can happen. It happened before to other cities. But don't let it happen to you. Reach back and get those people who know budgeting, who've been leaders. We got people in this community and outside of this community that still own homes here that can be put in the right direction. It's about your gut. It's about who you are that can make up a good leader to lead these people out of the trouble that we are in now. I'm Jimmy Bernard, and I'm going to continue to do what I do. I'm going to continue to talk what I talk, and I'm going to continue to walk the walk that I walk so you can get the understanding. Some of you say, oh man, he crazy. You can say what you want. Hey, but I'm going to do what I do. And then to all the politicians again that want to be, that don't want to come and talk to the people on this show, then I'm going to talk about you on this show because you're too weak to stand the fire that's in this kitchen when it comes to the truth. No falsehood, just the truth. In the words of my grandmother, she always said, if it's the Lord's will and the creek don't rise, we'll see you on tomorrow. And remember what I said. Always remember. Trust everyone, but do not trust the devil inside of them. God bless you. until we assemble again here to do what we do on Tell the Truth and Shame the Devil. Be safe. God bless you.